we have re-anesthetized Mijo, our juvenile axolotl. 7 days ago, he had amputation of the forelimb and of the tip of the tail. So if you want to focus in here, we can see that Mijo is re-anesthetized, and you can see the red area at the tip of the limb is actually the new blastema. Blastema is our word for growing group of cells, a mound of cells that is growing into a new limb. If you look down here at the tail, there is also a blastema on the tail of growing tissue. So we're looking for the area where, yes, there's more red. He's been thrashing around a little bit in the MS222 as he didn't want to go to sleep again. And so he might have tiny just, bumped it and bruised it, and that's why we see some red blood cells in there. But we're going to go ahead and take Mijo out of the MS222 so we can maybe measure what's going on. So I've got a surgical table set up again, which again needs to be extremely moist so that the axolotl can continue to breathe through their skin. Here's the limbs that we didn't amputate. You can see 4 fingers on the front limb, 5 toes on the hind limb. We've got our eyes, our gills. Compare those gills to the gills we were just that we were filming today in the axolotl embryos. Here's the right hind limb, and here's the amputated limb. So I'm going to try to lay this gently so that you can see the elbow is still intact. And then over the surface of the amputation plane, there is now a thin film of clearish cells. Those clearish cells are called the wound epithelium, and underneath them, the bone, the muscle, the cartilage, the nerve is all de-differentiating. De-differentiation means that the cells leave the state of finished differentiation of muscles, functional muscle cells, adult muscle cells, to go back in development to become a more embryonic type of cell. So they lose their differentiation so that they can go back into the cell cycle and produce a new mound of cells that will cover that area of the amputation and grow into a blastema, a palette, a limb with digits, etc. So I've shown you so far the forelimb amputation. Let's look at the blastema in the tail amputation. Notice how I cut it with a razor blade in an extremely straight line right across, but this doesn't look straight anymore. The skin along the fin of the tail and at the base of the tail has retracted some, and cells have been contributed by the mesenchyme growing in the area of the spinal cord to make this red bulge that is now sticking out. So the salamander will actually regenerate its tail by starting the regeneration in the middle of the tail, and then the entire tail will grow. So the middle of the tail, the part where the spinal cord is, will grow longer, and this will become pointy, and then it will grow broader, in other words, taller, right? And then the fin will regenerate on the top and the bottom. So right now we can see that this red area is sticking out quite a bit from the black area, and that red area is the area of regeneration known as the blastema. Now I'm going to change some of the lighting attributes here. If I bring the light in real close, what I think you can see is more of the whitish shade to their skin. Okay, they have a lot of black pigment, but also the skin shows up well. And if I turn off some of the lighting, you may be able to immediately notice some cells moving in the gills. And what you want to look for is LA traffic. Right? Lots and lots of little cars zooming around these hills, which are the gills.